in the eye and say, I had nothing to do with this. I have not lied.
I can remember many of our friends and politicos that were around then saying, oh, that's the end of Bush's career. That's the end of George Bush. His time's over. And certainly the media had written him off.
I think of all the things that George Bush did prior to being asked to run for vice president with Ronald Reagan, being chairman of the Republican National Committee during Watergate was the most valuable because during that miserable time for grassroots Republicans, there was George Bush keeping up the faith and trying to keep people's spirits up.
Tell me what the president knew and when he first knew it.
At a meeting on September 15th, when...
Testimony from Nixon staffers on June 3, 1973, marked the beginning of revelations that would bring the president down.
Didn't want them to occur before the election.
I've never seen such an unhappy man as George was during this period, a White House insider recalled, because now all of us had come to the conclusion that we'd all been lied to for many, many months. Bush fumed in his diary, "This era of tawdry, shabby lack of morality has got to end. I am sick at heart, sick about the president's betrayal, and sick about the fact that the major Nixon enemies can now gloat because they have proved he is what they said he is."
Bush was caught up in it. Bush was embarrassed by it, and the thing he told me embarrassed him most of all was he had given assurances to fundraisers that Nixon was not involved. Nixon let him down.
On August 6, 1974, Bush attended a cabinet meeting. Nixon's agenda was to talk about the economy.
Ford turned to the president and said, "We have other issues that we have to discuss. We have to discuss the fate of this presidency."
George Bush interrupted Nixon and told him that Watergate was sapping public confidence in the party and the country. The next day, he advised Nixon to resign. "Dear Mr. President," he wrote, "I expect in your lonely, embattled position this would seem to you as an act of disloyalty from one you have supported and helped in so many ways." George Bush had accepted the party chairman's job out of loyalty to Nixon. That loyalty, Nixon found to his dismay, had its limits.